So sorry. I thought it was turned off. Sorry about that. Made my entrance, didn't I? Welcome into the channel. Welcome to tonight's live. Sorry, I didn't mean to blast you guys with music. Can you guys see my sign okay? Hopefully you guys can. I'm always messing with the camera, so I'm going to try not to mess with it tonight. But I feel like my lighting is a little off, so I don't know. But anyway, we're going with it. Welcome to tonight's live. Tonight we're going to be discussing a case that I didn't plan on ever revisiting because this woman is pure evil. This is the case of Gannon Stauch and his evil stepmother, Letecia Stauch. So if you're new here, my name is Tanya. This is Titanium Built. We do talk true crime. If you guys don't mind, take a second, hit the like button for me. If you do it in the beginning of the live, it makes it so that more people will be able to see the stream and they'll come in and they'll chit chat with us. So it's always a good time when we have new people, come in and hang out. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, we would love to have you. So, make sure you do if you're into true crime. And also, if you want to become a member, you want to take that extra step and become a member and support the channel, you can do so by clicking the box down by the chat. I think it's to the right of the chat. So we'll go ahead and we'll get into tonight's live. I do have my kitty back here. She's sleeping. I don't know if you can see her. She's just sleeping right like this little mass of darkness. That's her. That's her. Welcome in, everybody. My eyes are burning for some reason. I might have to put some eye drops in really quick. It's not raining here. No, weather is good here. Weather is really good. It was like 80. I think it was 78 degrees here today. Hey, Ladybug. Hey, Happy Cappy. Hey, Flower Girl. It is unbelievable, isn't it? I was like, she's ecstatic. She's walking around giving everybody honey buns, giving everybody her stuff. I'm getting out. They're giving me a new trial. I'm getting out. One of her 8 personalities is doing that. Right, Casey? Pissed. If this was yesterday, Ashley, I would say that I would say happy freaking, or, April Fool's Day. If this was yesterday, I don't even think I could come up with this. I couldn't even come up with this. I wouldn't do this to you guys. Hey, Kathy. I mean, I don't like this woman. There's jail calls that came out after, she went to prison. There was things that, was coming out. And I was like, no, I don't want to hear her voice. I don't want to look at her. I really despise this woman. I mean, what she did to that little boy is just, it's not good. You know what? Let her out. Yeah. Let karma handle you. Ooh. I know. And I swear to God, just please pray that we don't get Dorothy. I cannot take another round of her. And she was the expert witness for Letecia. Remember, Ted Bundy kissed her on the cheek, and that was the last woman he ever kissed. And she was like loving that. If she could tell that story to anybody that would listen, she would, and she did. Let's put a picture of Gannon here. Look at that. This is probably the first picture I think I saw of him, actually. When we started covering this case years ago. This was supposed to be done and over with, I thought. Apparently not. Maybe there'll be some prison justice before she gets to court. Yeah. Couldn't even give him some peace. Doing this all behind, I'm not probably behind the scenes. I mean, people probably, I don't think anyone knew about it. Even people that were following her. Like, following Letecia and following the jail calls and doing all of that. I don't even think some of those people knew. They were like, what? This came out of left field. So what happened in that home in Colorado has haunted true crime followers, creators for years. This wasn't just a missing child case. It wasn't a missing child's case at all. It became one of the most disturbing family murder cases in recent memory. Probably, if not it's probably one of the worst. It's probably one of the worst. It is one of the worst that I've covered. 11-year-old Gannon Stauch disappeared in January 2020. At first, the public was told that he left home and he never returned. There were so many different stories. I mean, there was so many different stories. Search teams came out, volunteers searched the neighborhoods, and the community believed that they were looking for, a missing boy. So they were putting out flyers for Gannon, and then all of a sudden it switched to a runaway situation. It was a lot. Investigators quickly, they began focusing on the stories that were changing that Letecia was given. She was given different stories every time they would talk to her, it seemed like. So they were kind of starting to look at her. Years now after she's been convicted, the case has taken another shocking turn. Letecia's getting a brand new trial. Don't know when, but it's going to happen. And if they're just using the same evidence, both sides, then I don't see how this would be this would take too long, But tonight we're going to break down what happened to Gannon, what prosecutors proved at the trial, how Letecia defended herself, she tried to, and why her conviction has now been overturned. So, and there is some documents out, and we can go through those, or I can just tell you exactly what they mean. Either way. And then, I had some other pictures of Gannon I was going to show. Look at all those. He's adorable. Actually, let me put you guys over here so I could see you. That's what I meant to do before the live. I think everybody on the other live will be okay. There you guys are. That's better. I thought he was. Hold on. I thought he was 2, but then I was thinking he was 11. I was thinking 9 too, but then I was like, no, it was 11. I double checked. Just so I was like, so I didn't get it wrong. But evidence that, okay, so on January 27th, 2020, Gannon was last seen leaving his home in Colorado Springs with Letecia. According to prosecutors, Gannon had already been attacked inside the house before the day ended. Evidence presented in court showed that Gannon suffered from horrific abuse, multiple stab wounds, blunt force trauma, and a gunshot wound. Investigators later found blood evidence inside the home, including blood on a piece of particle board that had been removed and discarded by Letecia. Prosecutors argued that Letecia spent hours cleaning up the scene and created a false story that Gannon had gone missing after leaving the home. 4 weeks, there were searchers out there. People searched. The public searched while Letecia gave interviews that viewers felt were more inconsistent and defensive. And her interviews consisted of her standing there with her back to the camera. People are gonna say sorry whenever we find Gannon, and he's gonna be in trouble, and I'm gonna be vindicated, and me, Letecia, me. That's what what the interviews were like. They were terrible. I can't believe we're getting another trial. This almost feels like if because she wasn't. If Casey Anthony were found guilty, her getting a new trial, that's what this would feel like. But she was found not guilty. So that was more of a gut punch. I mean, this is like a reverse gut punch. They're like punching us again. They're like, oh, we're taking that first one back and we're going to do it even harder. So she basically cleaned up the scene. She gave interviews that were inconsistent. I mean, they were very defensive. They weren't interviews that a stepmother would give. Eventually, Gannon's body was found inside of a suitcase under a bridge in Florida, hundreds of miles away. Prosecutors said she transported his remains across state lines after disposing of the body. She took him down to Florida, threw him over a bridge in a suitcase, and acted like nothing happened. Don't know where he's at. Haven't seen him. And don't worry, we'll go through this whole case and we'll deep dive into all this stuff too. I've got a killer timeline with a lot of like different articles that I can pull. But the investigation, against Letecia was the surveillance video of Letecia's vehicle from that Ring camera, which was very surprising. Phone location data, blood evidence, false statements, and the changing of the timelines. One of the biggest moments in the case is when prosecutors showed how many different stories Letecia had told, because she has so many different personalities. And we saw that in court. She's very, she's trying to say that she has, what was it? Was it called IDD? Identity disorder, whatever. I can't think of the first letter in it. But she was trying to say that she had that. So during court, she would come in and she would be dressed like a certain way. Like one day she'd be like wearing like a pink sweater with like space buns in her hair or something. And then the next day she'd come in looking like she hadn't brushed her hair and washed it in like 4 weeks. And then she'd come in, the following day and it'd be different. I mean, she was trying to tailor her outfits and her hair to her personality. But it wasn't working. We could see right through her. She said that Gannon was kidnapped. She said a stranger attacked him. She said he left the house. And then she later even claimed that she had alternate personalities. So there's a lot to this case. In 2023, Letecia went to trial and pled not guilty by reason of insanity. That's why, the different outfits and stuff. Her defense argued that she suffered from dissociative, that's what's called, identity disorder, and claimed another personality committed the murders. Wasn't her, wasn't Letecia, it was Tish. Or I don't even know what the other person's name was. I don't think they ever disclosed it. The prosecution brought, though, in multiple health experts who testified that she was not legally insane and understood right from wrong. So, yeah, she tried. Jurors also heard jail calls, digital evidence, and forensic testimony showing planning, concealment, and the cover-up. After nearly 8 hours of deliberation, 8 hours, why didn't this person say day one, who, we're going to find out soon, like, hey, my brother-in-law or whatever it is works for the same, police station or whatever it is. Like, I don't know. To me, I don't know if I would throw out a whole case because of that reason, but I'll read the documents and you'll let me know what you guys think. So, my dog's trying to get in the door. It's funny. Shake it in here. So after nearly, 8 hours of deliberation, the jury did find Letecia guilty of first-degree murder of a child under 12 by a person in a position of trust, tampering with a deceased human body, and tampering with physical evidence. She was sentenced to life without parole, plus there were some additional years tacked on to that. She was supposed to be gone, bye, see ya, live your life inside the jail. But now she's back. Did someone say her name 3 times like Beetlejuice? Because I never said her name. I don't think this is the jury's fault. I just wish that if he knew, this guy knew he was related to somebody that worked there. I think if I was related to somebody that worked at the police station or the clerk's office or whatever it may be, I think I would say something when I went in for jury duty. Like, hey, I don't know if this is a big deal, but I'm related to this person. Maybe I would. I don't even know. Maybe I wouldn't. I'm trying to be honest. I'm trying to really think about it. Like, my sister-in-law used to work for the domestic violence shelter. Now, I don't know if I went in for jury duty, if I'd necessarily be like, yeah, my sister-in-law is blah, blah, blah. She works for the domestic violence shelter. Like, I don't, and like, let's say this case was domestic violence related, that I was going on the jury for. I don't know if I necessarily would say that. Maybe I would, though. I probably would. Because I'd be like, my aunt's or my sister-in-law is awesome. And this is Letecia. Ain't she beautiful? This is when she hasn't washed her hair in about 15 years. So I'm going to tell you why she's getting a new trial, and then we'll go read over the documents. But Today, the Colorado Court of Appeals overturned Letecia's conviction and ordered a new trial. The reason was jury selection error. So many years later, this little boy died in 2020. Her trial was in 2023? And we're in 2026. And she's like, hello. Ain't getting rid of me now. Ain't getting rid of me that easily. I wonder what she looks like. Kind of curious. Wonder if she has any jail tats, or what, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if she acclimated to life there. But a juror who sat through the entire trial had a son. It was a son-in-law. He had working in the same district attorney's office, prosecuting the case. So that's a big one. That's not like my sister-in-law worked for the domestic violence shelter. So there was a juror who had a son-in-law working in the same district attorney's office that was prosecuting the case. Yeah, I would say something. That gets you off jury duty. Maybe he wanted to be on jury duty. But did he realize that, hey, if I'm on jury duty, I'm going to mess this whole case up? I don't like putting them together, but there she is in another. I think she just doesn't care to wash her hair. If I was in jail, I'd be living in the shower. That's like the only thing I would be doing. Like, I mean, because some pods have showers in them, because she needs to glow up. Hopefully she looks even worse when we see her. I don't think she's innocent. We're going to make that perfectly clear. Just because she's getting a new trial, I do not think she's innocent. I think this is craziness. I do think this is craziness if she's getting a new trial. I think it's crazy that, I don't know, maybe we got to start checking people's background check before they become a juror, to see for yourself who they're related to, who they may be related to. I don't know. That'd take them a lot more time. Because I know when I went in for jury duty, I sat there forever, for 2 days. And you know what they did? I was number 12. They called me last. I thought I was getting out of it. I'm like, oh, I'm getting out of this. Sucks to suck. Yeah, Al, I feel so bad. Because not only didn't really want to go there, but I am for a minute. Al has had to suffer the most. I feel like that guy's been put through the freaking ringer. People blamed him. People said he did it. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to go there. Letecia's just a piece of shit. She really is. And no, I will. Okay. So Al has his son killed. He trusts this woman enough to marry her. She worked with kids as an assistant, like teacher. So I'm sure in his mind, he's thinking she would never hurt my children. She brutally kills him. Not just like, shoots him and that's it. No, like she did all the things, all of them, all the things. Takes his body, takes it to Florida in the hot heat and just shoves it and throws it outside. Well, then this little boy has an autopsy. I can't even imagine, and I don't ever want to imagine what those pictures look like. But somebody on YouTube decided, I think I'm going to sell these for a few dollars on the Patreon. Because they're too graphic for YouTube, but I could put them on Patreon and get some money out of it. So then Al has to deal with that. Just think about that. Your kid's autopsy report. Your little boy. For anybody to buy. For $3. And then you get over that hump. And then this happens. She gets a new trial. It's like, I feel so bad for him, man, I mean, if I was out, I'd be like, what the hell did I do wrong in my life to deserve this? I would feel like that. And I don't want him to feel like that, but I would. It's just, so basically the appeals court, they ruled that the juror should have been removed because even if that family connection, even with the family connection, like it created a, bias concerns. And that's why they are giving her a new trial in a way. I mean, judges call it a structural error, meaning the fairness of the trial itself was legally compromised. Too bad they can't just bring in an alternate and be like, what would you have voted? Like, what would your vote would have been? Why can't they do that? I mean, I know they can't do that, but I wish they could. Somebody call me 2-3 years later. I'll tell you what my vote would have been. Guilty. Putting her back on here. She looks. So because of that, the conviction was reversed. Important point though, Letecia, this does not mean like she's been found innocent. She remains in custody. The murder charge still stands. Now prosecutors must decide whether to appeal to the Colorado Supreme Court or retry the case before a new jury. I'm not sure what they're, which way they're going to go, but they did say that they are prepared to fight again for justice for Gannon. And I like that. So now the big question becomes, will a second jury reach the same verdict, or will the defense try to build a stronger insanity case? Now that they have more time, maybe I haven't heard the jail calls. I need to go back and listen to them. Maybe she's been acting crazy on them jail calls. She knew, but maybe she was like, she knew maybe she might get an appeal, or she knew she would get an appeal, but maybe she'd win an appeal if she, kept up the charade of I'm crazy. And welcome in everybody. It's good to see you guys. Oh, thank you for answering questions too, guys. I didn't see that. You guys are the best. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering, Terminus, Noel, if they didn't because they do ask you, like, are you related to people? Like both sides ask as many questions, and not as many, but I think they get a good amount of questions that they can ask the jurors. So did they forget to ask a question? Did you forget one? We'll listen to this and then we'll look at that document. I have the document somewhere. There it is. Okay. We'll listen to this.
News 5 at
They seem to know what they was talking about earlier.
At noon, we start with breaking news, a bombshell update in the murder case of 11-year-old Gannon Stauch. The Colorado Court of Appeals has reversed Letecia Stauch's conviction. She was found guilty of murdering Gannon. For more on what this all means, we're joined by investigative reporter Allison Zimmerman from the El Paso County Courthouse. Good afternoon, Allison.
Tony, good afternoon. I spoke with a Colorado Springs defense attorney, Jeremy Lowe, this morning. He told me this ruling is not surprising. Now, I want to walk you through some things that could happen now that the Court of Appeals has made this ruling. Lowe mentioned that the Supreme Court, the Colorado Supreme Court, could grant certiorari. That's essentially a review of the lower court's ruling. And in this case, that would be the Court of Appeals. But they could also decline to not review that case. And also, the El Paso County District Attorney's Office here could also decide not to send this up to the Supreme Court. Now, he also shared a few different perspectives with me about this ruling, but ultimately, as I mentioned, he's saying this is not surprising. I did ask him, though, what he thought. He is a well-experienced defense attorney here in Colorado Springs. When he learned about the judge's decision not to dismiss this juror during the trial, here's what he said.
Why? There were hundreds and hundreds of prospective jurors. Why not just excuse this one challenge for cause? There were countless challenges for cause. Why not excuse this juror and pick somebody else where there's no chance that it's going to come back on appeal for a juror bias issue?
And I want to bring you up to speed here on just what this ruling was with the Court of Appeals. So essentially, they argued that there was a biased juror on this case because one of the jurors has a son-in-law that works for the DA's office. Now, this was something that the defense did bring up in the trial. The judge ultimately ruled not to dismiss that juror, but Jeremy Lowe argued that the law is pretty clear here in what it says. And one of the things it mentions is that if there is a third degree of relationship for a juror with an employee of a district attorney's office, then they should be dismissed. Now, we did hear from the El Paso County District Attorney's Office. They sent us a brief statement calling this opinion from the court disappointing. And they say Gannon's family and everyone who still loves him, this is also disappointing for them. And they're going to continue to pursuing justice in this case. Now, this means that the case will need to be retried. One of the things that Lowe and I talked about today is the cost that the community really bears in all of this. Is these trials, especially when you're talking about a murder case, these are not cheap cases to prosecute.
Yeah, Dorothy, remember she kept she was almost boasting about how much she was getting paid per hour to be there. I can't remember how much now. I can't remember. But they even asked her, like, how much are you getting paid? And she's like, oh, I'm getting paid. And like, oh, don't bring Dorothy in again. Anybody but her. I'll let y'all listen to her, but I'll be under the desk hiding with the cat.
And again, you're looking at all the attention that this case has gotten. We'll be following up to see just what the district attorney's office ends up doing. They did tell us that they are working with the attorney general's office to come up with a solution. Again, we're continuing to get more details on this developing story. We'll have much more coming up for you on News 5 at 5 and News 5 at 6. In El Paso County, Allison Zimmerman, News 5.
Thank you, Allison. I know a lot of you remember this case, but a quick look at the time. Gannon was reported missing as a runaway on January 27th of 2020 in the Lorson Ranch area southeast of Colorado Springs. More than a month later, Letecia was arrested in South Carolina. A few weeks after that, she was taken into custody. Authorities announced that they believe they found the remains of Gannon in Florida, and Letecia was charged with murder. Letecia claims she was not guilty by reason of insanity and was found guilty in May of 2023. I have reached out to the judge in that trial for comment, as Allison mentioned.
I have a question about reason of insanity defense. How can you possibly say that? I mean, like, how can you go into court? Who determines that? Like, does your lawyer look at you and be like, you're a little funky in the head, we need to get you checked out? Or do you say it yourself? Like, yeah, I've got 15 personalities. I mean, I wonder how that works. Like when you use the insanity, go to use the insanity defense, because isn't it that like most insane people that are that insane don't know they're that insane? Does that make sense? I'm probably confusing everybody with saying the word insane 50 times. Okay, so we'll go through a little bit of this document. It's pretty long, and then I'll just kind of tell you a little bit about I'll tell you everything that it means. But we'll go through a few pages of it. This is just supposed to be the summary. It's 54 pages. Like, that's crazy. Let me see. Blow this thing up so everybody can see it. If you guys want to read along, and if you want to read along, I mean, I might mess up some words. You never know. That'd be fun. You could tell me whenever I do that. You understood me? Okay, good. Because I'm just thinking, like, that just popped into my head. I'm like, wait, how do they know they're insane? Who tells them that? A lot of these are also like they cite like case law, like different cases, and I swear when it just is so confusing when you start when they start citing different cases, because then you think, well, is this part of that case that I'm covering? Like, I don't know. I feel like it's like confusing for the people that are watching, but we'll read through. So it is People versus Stauch, criminal law, structural error, waiver, invited error, juries, juror bias, challenges for cause, peremptory challenges. A division of the Court of Appeals considers whether an erroneous denied challenge for cause is waived or invited by virtue of the fact that the defendant does not use, I'm going to see if I'm saying this right. Peremptory challenge to remove a biased juror to correct the trial court's error. The majority finds neither waiver nor invited error in this context, and applying People versus Abu Natsa Babu, concludes the error warrants reversal for structural error because a biased juror deliberated. Okay. The dissent concludes that the defendant waived the right to a claim error on appeal by exhausting all of her preemptory challenges without excusing the biased juror. And then this is Court of Appeals. And then it says, the people of the state of Colorado versus Letecia Stauch. Okay. Defendant Letecia Stauch appeals the judgment of conviction entered after a jury found her guilty of first-degree murder after deliberation, first-degree murder of a child under 12 by one in a position of trust, tampering with a deceased body, tampering with physical evidence, and multiple crime of violence sentence enhancers. Because we conclude that the trial court committed structural error by denying Stauch's challenge for cause to a biased juror who deliberated, we reverse the convictions and remand for a new trial. So this is a little bit of the background. The prosecution presented evidence at trial that Stauch brutally murdered her 11-year-old stepson, GS, in Colorado, put his body in a suitcase, and left it underneath a bridge in Florida. Stauch had pled not guilty by reason of insanity, arguing that she suffered from dissociative identity disorder, but the jury rejected that defense and found her guilty as charged. The trial court sentenced Stauch to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, plus 2 consecutive sentences for the 2 tampering convictions. On appeal, Stauch claims the court committed structural error when it denied her challenge for cause to a biased prospective juror who then deliberated. She also asserts the court erred by denying her request to suppress evidence obtained pursuant to an overbroad warrant and by omitting certain testimony by her ex-husband, GS's father. We agree that the court committed structural error when it denied Stauch's challenge for cause and biased juror deliberated. As a result, her convictions must be reversed. Because it is likely to arise on remand, we also consider and reject Stauch's Fourth Amendment challenge to the search warrant. However, we do not reach the remaining evidentiary issue. Okay, and then it just says applicable law here. So section 16-10-1003(1) provides that a trial court shall sustain a challenge for cause on one or more of the following grounds: relationship within the third degree by blood, adoption, or marriage to a defendant or to any attorney of record or attorney engaged in the trial of the case. The existence of a state of mind in the juror evincing enmity or bias towards the defendant or the state, unless the court is satisfied from the examination of the juror or from other evidence that he will render an impartial verdict according to law and the evidence submitted to the jury at trial. So I think it was the first one they read off. I'm going to put my glasses on. Okay. I swear I don't have these things get dirty. But they do. While I'm cleaning off my glasses really quick, will you guys just hit the like button for me? It'd be really great. I'm going to try to make this document not seem so boring. I could just tell you what it comes out to say. We'll read a little more. Because I can just tell you what the document says. I have the notes. Jurors who fall within one of these categories are considered biased as a matter of law, impedently biased under subsection 1B, and actually biased under subsection 1J unless they can be rehabilitated. Okay. Upon challenge for cause, the trial court is required to excuse them because, except as described in subsection 1J, they cannot be rehabilitated. In People v. McCorrender, the Supreme Court held that when an elected district attorney is the attorney of record, section 16-10-103 includes prospective jurors who are related not only to the elected district attorney, but also to any deputy district attorney in that office at the time jury selection occurs. That is, the statute directs automatic removal of a juror related within the third degree to any deputy district attorney in the elected district attorney of record's office, regardless of whether the deputy district attorney appeared or participated in the case. Okay. When a trial court erroneously denies a challenge for cause and a biased juror serves on the jury, the error is structural and requires reversal. As part of the voir dire, the prospective juror Jurors completed a questionnaire that included a question about whether they had friends or relatives in law enforcement. Respective juror MB indicated that his son-in-law worked with the El Paso County District Attorney. During follow-up questioning, juror MB confirmed that his son-in-law worked as a deputy district attorney in the same office as and for Michael Allen, the elected district attorney in El Paso County, and the prosecuting attorney in this case. Defense counsel later identified juror MB among the respective jurors he wished to challenge for cause. When the court asked for more detail, defense counsel explained his son-in-law works for Mr. Allen. The prosecutor in court then made the following comments. Prosecutor said, "I hate to agree with defense counsel, but the follow-up questions were never asked. How's that going to impact his ability to be fair and impartial juror? And that certainly doesn't rise to the level of statutory cause. So we would object to him being released for cause." The court said, "Yeah, I'm going to circle back to that one too. Probably what I'm going to do is not excuse juror MB at this point in time and think about it over the weekend and see where we are. I tend to agree that I don't think it's a statutory cause, and I didn't hear anything else about the fact creating an issue or conflict or something else. I don't run across those sets of facts very often, so I just need to think about that one, and it may be that I decide it next week." Well, why didn't he go and talk to somebody? Get some advice. They probably would have said, get him off the juror. I mean, you know what? That would have been the thing to do. If there's a question whether he should be on the jury or he shouldn't be on the jury, right? If that's a question, then he shouldn't be on the jury. Point blank, period. If there was ever a question, that just there's 100,000, there's thousands of people out there that you could get to sit in that spot. So the prosecutor suggested that the court ask further questions of juror MB, and the court agreed. Defense counsel objected. "I think the record is what it is, and I guess the only thing I think there is, a difference between somebody saying I have a son or daughter who works for the police, then I have a son-in-law who works for the DA who is actually trying the case. And so I think that's where it becomes different. Even if it was a different district attorney other than his son-in-law's direct boss who is trying the case, I think it would be different, and I'll leave it on that." The trial court brought the prospective jurors back into the room and asked juror MB how long his son-in-law had worked for the district attorney, whether juror MB had discussed the case with his son-in-law, and whether juror MB might be influenced by a desire to have the case worked out better for his son-in-law. Based on his answers, the court instructed juror MB to return the next day. He was not ultimately dismissed. He might not even have that. You might have put that in his head. You think you wanted him to win this case? You know what I mean? Like, you might not even think of that. The Attorney General does not dispute that juror MB fell within the category described by Section 16-10-103 1B because he was related within the third degree to his son-in-law, who was a deputy district attorney in the prosecuting district attorney's office. We are bound by the Supreme Court's determination that his bias was implied by law. Nevertheless, the Attorney General argues that reversal is not warranted because it was not clear from the record whether juror MB deliberated. What? If he was on the jury, he deliberated. But the Attorney General also asserts that defense counsel's challenge for cause was not properly preserved and that counsel either waived or invited the trial court's error. We are not persuaded by these arguments. Our review of the record demonstrates that juror MB deliberated. Indeed, the trial court granted Stauch's motion to set the record on this point, removing any doubt. The Attorney General first argues that Stauch failed to properly preserve her challenge for cause because counsel did not explicitly cite the Section 16-10-103 and did not correct the trial court's purported misunderstandings that the challenge for cause was based on something other than a statutory ground. The Attorney General further asserts that defense counsel's comments after making the challenge for cause suggest that the challenge was based on juror MB's actual bias and not his implied bias based on his relationship to the prosecutor. For the reasons discussed below, we conclude that the court consider and ruled on a statutory challenge for a cause under the section, same 16-10-103. Therefore, the challenge is properly before us. To begin, we recognize that defense counsel's challenge for cause potentially implicated two different subsections of Section 16-103. Recall that statute requires that the court to sustain a challenge for cause one or more grounds, including implied bias based on relationship to an attorney of record and actual bias subject to rehabilitation. That is, defense counsel could have based this challenge on juror MB's relationship to the prosecutor or his state of mind resulting from that relationship. Given this context, we reach two conclusions from the record. First, we conclude that counsel's stated reason, his son-in-law works for Mr. Allen, was sufficient to trigger a ruling under Section 1B. Second, even if we're not clear solely from counsel's challenge to juror MB on which part of the statute counsel was relying, we nevertheless conclude that the prosecutor in court's subsequent comments brought subsection 1B squarely into play for purposes of our review. As the prosecutor correctly observed at the time of the challenge, neither attorney had asked any questions to elicit whether juror MB had a state of mind evincing amenity or bias. Without these questions, there was no way to tell whether juror MB would be excused for actual bias under the section. Given recognize this, the prosecutor continued to note that the challenge certainly didn't rise to a level of statutory cause, and in this context, we conclude the prosecutor could only have been referring to statutory cause based on implied bias under subsection 1B. So basically, I can read this all day, but hey, Lee, how are you doing? Hey, Lee. Welcome in, everybody that I didn't see. It's good to see you. You're welcome, Jen. Okay. So basically, I'm going to tell you what all these mean. Okay. After I get a drink. Because it took me some notes. And next time I'll put them in like a Canva, like spreadsheet. So that way we could just like read over them together. Some of the documents that are like longer, you know, I know they get a little boring. So I don't like eggs either, Casey. I don't know why. Oh, yeah, Ashley got baby chicks and they're so cute. I want one now. Where am I going to put a chicken, though? Don't ask me. So, okay, I'm going to tell you what these mean. We're going to show me. Okay. So basically, what the court ruled on. So this is the key takeaways that we're going to take away from those documents, or that one document that we got so far. Hopefully we'll get some more and it'll tell us a little bit more about what's going on, and hopefully we'll get a trial date. That would be nice. I mean, I don't know why it seems like the court was just like, I'm going to think about it. Like, the prosecutor let them know. Defense knew. The judge said, let me think about it and I'll get back to you guys. And then kind of just let them stay. Which, I mean, did he forget that he was supposed to rule on that? I wouldn't forget something like that, but maybe I hate when judges say that. When you have a motions hearing and you go in and you're like, oh, we're going to get some answers. And he's like, they're like, most likely it's a man, whoever it is, not man or woman. They'll say, I'll give you an answer like later. I'm like, oh man, I want one now. Oh, I bet it's been a long week. Easter holiday, yes. Oh, that's cute. They're going to be you're going to have a lot of eggs. You're going to be selling them eggs. Oh my gosh, you're going to be like the egg lady at the Murdoch trial. Now, if he gets a trial, I'm really going to pee my pants. Just kidding. I wouldn't pee my pants, but you know what I mean. Like, that would be crazy. Ashley says she thinks he's going to. He might. Wouldn't that be something? So the original conviction is reversed. So the case is sent back. It's remanded for a new trial. The reason is structural error, which means the error was so serious it automatically undermined the fairness of the trial, which meant because this guy was the son-in-law, in the district attorney's office, relation to someone, working the case. That's too much. That's a lot, that's not, I'm related to, the clerk of the courts of the next town over or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is like right there. No, she wasn't related. Was she? Was Becky Hill related to anybody? Look at that member for 4 months. Thanks for always being my favorite wake up call. Thank you. Much love to you, Lee. I'm so glad you're here tonight. You think he's going to get one? I'm going to be full of cases, full of trials. I'm going to have to get the white. Okay, so I'm going to have to take this sign down. I have like a door right here. And what I think I'm going to have to do is I have these whiteboards, like, and I was going to just like get rid of them. They're in the closet. They've been there for like ever and a day. And I have like 2 smaller ones. I think I'm going to put them on this door with some like adhesive, because I have a little one over here and it ain't going to work. We got like 10. And thanks for being a member for so long again. I appreciate that. So, during the jury selection, if you guys are just coming in now and you're wondering how Letecia's getting a new trial and why was the conviction, overturned, during jury selection, one juror identified as MB, not our Mary Beth, but told the court that his son-in-law worked as a deputy district attorney in the same office that was prosecuting the case in El Paso County. Under Colorado law, that relationship automatically creates an implied bias, meaning that the juror should be removed just for that cause alone. The defense lawyers objected and asked for that juror to be removed, but the trial judge kept him on the panel, which, I mean, if he was removed and someone else was put on, do we think one person would have held out and been like, she's not guilty? I don't think so. Not after what we heard, what we saw, what we witnessed, no. Oh my goodness. Are we going to hear from her attorney, the same attorney? Oh, she has to keep the same attorney, I hope. I hope she has the same attorney. Remember, everybody wanted me to quit her. I'll never quit her. What? This trial, I'm telling you guys, buckle up, because this trial is going to be, you're going to be like, what? Huh? You're not going to know whether to laugh, cry, be angry. Like, there's going to be so many emotions going through you. You're not going to know what to do with, because this woman is literally ridiculous. New personality every day. They don't even come in at different times. You know what I mean? They come in at different days. Huh. She got them down to a science. So the appeals court did not overturn the verdict because they doubt the evidence about, Gannon's murder. They think that, the court specifically noted that prosecutors presented evidence that Gannon was murdered. His body was put into a suitcase and that it was later found under a bridge in Florida. Now, I'm surprised that they were, there's a lot of kids that are missing. So for them to know, like, I don't know how they were like, this could be Gannon, because he was in there, like, in the hot Florida sun. I just can't imagine. Yeah, I'll never give up on her. Oh man, Ashley, that was great. Remember? Oh gosh. We might have to watch some of the trial just to, you guys would be like, what? I should play her interview. Maybe we will. Okay. So, it doesn't erase the murder, the murder case. It doesn't. It creates, just another chapter in this crazy saga that is Letecia Stauch. We don't know when the trial is going to be. I don't know if they have to give her, I don't know if they have to like re-indict her. And then, you know what I mean? And then go through the whole process over again like that. Like, or if it's just like, boop, new trial. This is something that I've never experienced. So I'll figure it out and I'll let y'all know. like how this works. Like, what about the alternate jurors? Okay, they should, in my opinion, next time, maybe we can make this a rule. The alternate jurors, maybe they put down their, like, what they would vote. And then you have that, and then you just pick out of a hat. I don't know. We can't really do that, but the USA does have a lot of missing kids. We do, yeah. Especially in Ohio. Like, I did a video on it, and it was like in Cleveland, there's like 300 kids missing alone. And it went up. It even jumped up from there. It's crazy. Let's watch a little bit of Letecia, since you guys don't really, a lot of you guys don't know Letecia. This is her interview, okay? Now, if your kid, your stepson, is missing, right? Would you have your back to the camera? I mean, she hasn't even opened her mouth yet. And it's like, what?
You are.
It's 11 minutes long. I'm going to let you guys listen to this.
I am Letecia Stauch, which is Gannon's stepmother.
You've been a part of the investigation since the very first time. You were the last person to see him. Is that right?
Correct.
What did you see when you last saw him?
Well, I'm not allowed to talk about anything with the case. I would more so be willing to talk about how the community needs to have faith and continue to work together and not make these false accusations, like the things that have been said that I've disappeared from the community. I haven't been there to help, but there's lots of reasons behind that.
Reasons like death threats, right?
Right. Death threats are one of them. My family's getting lots of death threats. We counted over 20 some death threats already. Two, my husband's ex-wife is living in our home. And of course, I'm not coming home to do these things and to help with the family when I was kind of like told I couldn't. And then many other things that happened with the El Paso County Police Department, and in doing the investigation, I was told I wasn't complying. And can I elaborate on that?
Please do.
Yes. So I asked for an attorney during the interview, and I was denied that by them. I was held because they were blocking the door, and I was told I couldn't leave, and that if I would have touched them, they would have probably, said I still wasn't complying, or said I was, trying to run away or something. But during the interview, I asked several times, could I stop the interview? Could I get an attorney? Could I stop the interview? Could I get an attorney? I was denied. I was told I couldn't get nothing to drink. I couldn't go to the bathroom. I mean, it was continuously that my.
Okay, we're gonna time it. We're gonna time her. I forgot how much this interview makes me so mad. Let's time her and see how many times she says Gannon's name. The first time she'll say Gannon's name, because all I've heard is me, frickin' I.
Constitutional rights were violated.
My constitutional rights were violated.
And that's why you.
The English
say that
are coming.
Said then you weren't cooperating with the investigation.
That's why they said I wasn't cooperating at that time. Correct.
And why did you ask for an attorney at the time?
Well, I asked for an attorney at the time because there was one individual, there was two really good detectives. And so I'm not, going to talk bad about detectives, but the tactics they started to get when I would answer questions, they try to, they're detectives. They're supposed to twist. The one main goal is to find Gannon. But during that time, some of those things made me feel uncomfortable the way they were saying things. So I immediately stopped and felt like an attorney would help me with some of the vocabulary and things like that I needed help with and understanding some of the things that they were asking.
I'm going to shift gears to what has become a huge online presence of people obviously trying to do the right thing, help find Gannon. But at the same time, sometimes it just feels like rumor mongering. Have you seen any of those comments yourself?
We have. And see, that's one of the main things we haven't been around in the public eye, because I didn't want to expose my family to it if all these things were going on. There was comments about Gannon getting pushed off the hike, and there was comments about this, and that's just not true. I took care of Gannon for the last 2 years in our home because his mother didn't want to do it. And
I forgot about
I would never.
I forgot she said that. Man, you got a lot of nerve. Even if it's true, you're on the news.
Never, ever hurt this child. And I know there's some questions out there about, okay, so tell me what happens. That's up to the investigations when they end up letting you guys know. But I've cooperated with them, even to the point that we were held with a gun. And my daughter, a 17-year-old who serves our country in the United States Air Force, who has never committed a crime or done anything wrong in her life, was put in handcuffs over the keys that was in her purse so they could take her car.
And they weren't in there.
They weren't even in her car. In her purse.
And
they were in my pocket.
You originally didn't even know it was the law enforcement officers?
I didn't know it was a law enforcement officer because when he came out, I guess he was putting his jacket on, and it wasn't necessarily his fault. He was adjusting and happened to catch me. But I saw the gun and I panicked originally and kind of thought, oh gosh, I got the, like, who's this guy? And then once I realized it was the sheriff's office, I was totally okay. But they still had a gun and told me they were going to shoot me. But I was really concerned about my daughter, asking why she was being detained in handcuffs and things like that, when that shouldn't even happen for a child. That shouldn't happen for someone who was standing inside of a store shopping, because we couldn't have any clothes because all of our clothes were here. If we came here and got clothes, you know, we would be harassed. So she went to purchase some underwear and things like that and was put in the handcuffs in the store, you know, and then brought out with men with guns. And that's just not okay. You know, they could have approached me and said, hi, I'm with El Paso County. Can I please get this? Instead of the way that it happened.
I'm just going to check her chat. Doing great.
He needs a break from her. He's like, oh God, she's lying right to my friggin' face.
Recording, still can hear you okay.
Yeah. Oh, I think actually her daughter's getting ready to come out. Doesn't she come out? Harley come out, but she doesn't want to.
Yeah, sounds like we're good. Every once in a while my mic will give out and I want to make sure that's not.
I thought someone comes out. He's zooming in.
Okay.
Maybe not.
All right, and then oh shoot, it almost feels like, to me, like kind of a pitchfork mentality with people. Do you feel safe in Southern Colorado?
Yes, this is a wonderful neighborhood. We picked this neighborhood because it felt like such a great community and the school district's great. And so I really feel safe in Colorado Springs.
She's a salesperson.
But then the community seems to have turned. Is that true?
There's a lot of times that, you know, on the Ring Gap and things like that, we hear of like a burglary every day. And, you know, some of those things you can't always look into and think that it actually happened. You have to kind of like wheedle it out. But overall, the community is really good at looking out for each other and coming together in times of need.
I should try and clarify here. Not necessarily crime rates, but the way that people are reacting online to rumors about you with the search.
Oh yes. Wow. The rumors have gotten so bad. I pretty much have been told at least 10 different ways that these people have these conspiracy theories. I guess they watch a lot of law shows and maybe they have all these theories on how Gannon is dead. And that's what they're saying. So I'm like, why are you saying Gannon is dead? He is not dead. We are going to find Gannon. And that's the main goal that we all have. My family has. Just because you haven't seen us, we have that same goal. And we've been out searching. My aunt has been out searching. My family has been out searching. We all have been doing that together so that we could protect each other.
How does it feel when not only you have a lost child who you are in care of, but then people blaming you for that child not being there?
You know, I'm just ready for Gannon to come home. Most importantly, for him to see his family. But second, I am going to be so ecstatic when I'm able to say to people that I hope they have a really sincere apology for all these theories that have came out online, for all the things they said that I have done or people have done. And I just want everyone to know that we're going to find Gannon. And I love him so much. I've helped taking care of him for so long.
Can you talk to me a little bit about him? I don't know him.
Gannon is so kind and he loves to play video games. That's one of his favorite things. He loves Sonic and Mario. And, you know, he's always helpful. And he was always so helpful with the dogs around the house. And we have 2 little cute dogs. And he was always like a person I could say, Gannon, can you go do this? And he would do it right away. You know, sometimes with kids, we have to remind them and things like that. And that's okay. But he was so sweet.
You notice how she's referring to him like he ain't around no more, like he ain't ever coming back? He was so great with the dogs.
And
why are we always bringing up the dogs? Leave the dogs out of it.
Able to help anyone. He could notice when you're sick and say, are you okay? And such a kind heart.
I know you just said that you can't say anything about the investigation, so you can just say so again if you can't answer this. But is there anything we can hear about the hike? Was there a hike? That just seems like rumors right now.
You know what? Could we bring my daughter up here? Because she can go and say that, you know, she came home from work after the hike and she can verify that Gannon was at our home.
Okay, yeah, that's fine with me. If she doesn't want to, that's okay, but you're allowed.
That's fine.
Okay so far?
Man, poor Harley.
Yes. I need Harley.
Poor Harley.
I need Harley. Because they want you to verify was Gannon at home after the hike.
She is doing really well. As the last I checked on her, She had like a pretty big following, I think, on like Instagram, maybe. Gorgeous girl. I hope she's still doing good.
Because you didn't go to the hike, but you came home from work. Hmm?
Do you want me to just say yes?
No, just answer the question. Yes, you came home from work and you can verify Gannon was at home. Yeah. I told her she didn't have to be too in depth because she is still, a child. But I want to make sure that someone knows that there's another person to verify that Gannon.
Sure.
Does she need to hold this?
No, that's as long as she's close.
Close.
So just stay close. And yeah, actually shift a tiny bit that way. Just half inch that.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay. And then can you say
I forgot she was actually on the interview. I thought for some reason I thought she stayed in the back.
spell your name for me real fast?
Harley Hunt, Harley Hunt, Hunt.
Perfect. And so just don't look away from her because the mic's not that way. So you don't have to like face down into it. But
Okay.
just don't. I was just asking about the hike.
Yes, so I came home later that evening. I was at work, and I can verify that he was there that night.
So there was a hike that you guys went on, but then you guys came home.
Yes.
Where'd you guys go hiking?
Garden of the Gods.
Oh, okay. I guess when
And then we ate Burger King afterwards. So,
there you go.
Yeah.
And then it just was I'm gonna go to play at a friend's house.
Can we step off of here? I don't want her on the.
No worries.
Okay.
Am I good?
Really great. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
She only wanted her on there for when she needed her on there. Don't come on here and talk about Gannon.
Okay, do it again.
And then it was just
I haven't seen, where is the missing flyer? Put it on the back of your shirt so we can see it.
to go to play at a friend's house.
Unfortunately, I'm not able to comment on that anymore. And for that reason is because some things have been turned and twisted. And, that was one of those stories you were talking about where people say things. We had to hear things like who would let their child go out at dark and things like that. And that's just why I don't want to answer that. If I had to give, I'm not going to say that part.
That's okay.
Never
That's
mind.
right.
I could take that out.
I understand that it gets tricky with
Yeah.
legal stuff. Do you feel like I asked you what I need to? Do you feel like this is going to help kind of turn the tide of what feels like a witch hunt, in my opinion?
I hope am I on camera now?
You are
okay.
still.
Okay. I think that a lot of people can see that I'm not missing and see that I am being cooperative. But to me, it's okay that they think those things because the way someone thinks about me, I don't have a problem with that. My main thing is I would never want someone to think that I would hurt Gannon or any of the children in our home because that's just not the case. I've spent my whole entire life working so hard in education. There was even things online that was talking about my education license and I shouldn't even be a teacher. And they just didn't know that. Like we moved on a military move and I didn't finish out my contract. So I gave up my license in that state. It had nothing to do with any criminal activity, or any of those things. And it just got blown out of proportion on my professional status, and
Do you feel like these are just internet detectives who think they know what they're doing?
it definitely is. And here's the thing that kind of saddens me. It's like if you're going to talk about someone like that and have a witch hunt out for them, why would you even care about doing those things? Because this is a child. You're telling me that you're just as mean, you're just as hateful to talk about someone else like that. That's how I feel. Like we just should not. We should all come together and wait until the end and see what happens because Gannon's going to come home.
Any message for Gannon?
The message for Gannon I have is, Gannon, when you get here, you'll be able to truly tell what happened. And then I really hope I get a sincere apology from everyone who has made all those things, especially from my husband.
That's the last NF thing I would be saying to my stepson. And when I saw him, when he came home, I would be like, get into my arms. Oh my God, my son's home. I love him. Oh my God, I'm going to kiss him. I'm going to love on him. Gannon, the message for you is to stay strong. We're going to look for you, buddy. We're looking for you. We're coming for you. This is a whole ass mess of an interview. I ain't never seen an interview like this before. This has got to be.
We just wanted to add a minute.
Oh, and I should act like she's crying now. Let's just hear her crying. She admitted to her little psychologist lady that she shot him. She thought that there was someone in a black cape. Remember that? So, Letecia, shut up.
You're just as hateful to talk about someone else like that. That's how I feel. Like, we just should not. We should all come together and wait until the end and see what happens, because Gannon's going to come home.
Any message for Gannon?
The message for Gannon I have is, Gannon, when you get here, you'll be able to truly tell what happened. And then I really hope I get a sincere apology from everyone who has made all those things, especially from my husband.
We just wanted to add a message to Gannon from my family, is that we love you and miss you, and we hope that you come home soon. And Gannon, I can't wait till you can come home and let everyone know that you're okay. We love you.
She's such a liar. Yeah, I just, hey baby girl, I just been remembering stuff. Like you guys reminded me of stuff in the chat. I'm just like, oh my goodness. Oh, my kitten is kittening. She's being really cute. She just woke up from her nappy. She's laying on her back. You look cute. Okay, you're cute. All right, so we are going to go in depth into this case, but I wanted to let you guys at least know what was going on, with her getting a trial, because I was like, ooh. I was going to write it in a community tab or a community post, and then I was like, no, just go do a video. Which I think I need 5 views till I hit 1,000. If 5 people could go over and view my short, that'd be great. That'd be wonderful. Who turns their back, right, with the little boy missing? And where is her missing sign? Like her missing, something with his face on it. I mean, put it on the back of your damn shirt, lady. Like that interview alone. Now, it's going to be a little crazy with if Dorothy's at the trial and we have her attorney. He was very animated. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember the opening testimony and stuff, but it was like the lawyer said all kinds of stuff that didn't make no damn sense. Everyone thinks I'm going to quit on her. Everyone wants me to quit on her. Like, bitch, we didn't know who you were until 5 minutes ago when you walked into court. Ain't nobody know about you, Paul Revere. Maybe he said the British were coming. Maybe he did say the British instead of the English. I said the English. Someone's coming. What is this saying, though? And thanks, Lee. Yeah, she kind of fell into my lap. Well, actually, she fell on the ground. That's sad. But, she can't feel it. She's been good. Yeah, she's very untamed. You should see her. She has a ball and a mouse beside her. She's so untamed. What are you doing? Oh, she was sleeping again. I scared her because I touched her belly. Oh, and you guys will be happy to know the cat people in here. Okay. We're going to try scratch pads. Can't believe I'm saying that out loud, but she better not scratch my furniture. But I think she'll do good with scratch pads. Because there's one on her little bed here, and she's been going to town on it. Like, she knows how to use it. She knows what to do. Vincent today, he was like, what's that noise? I'm like, her using her scratch pad. And a spray bottle, yeah. Rocky hates the spray bottle. I've only gotten it out probably in his whole life. He's 18. Probably 3 times I've gotten the spray bottle out, and I've only probably squirted him maybe once. Because I know better. He beat me. He'll eat me in my sleep or something. That cat's huge. But yeah, I'm going to get a scratch pad for each room. I told Vincent we need scratch pads. He was looking up that robot cat thing today y'all were telling me about. You said it was the best one to get. That thing, $940. It has cat facial recognition. It can tell you what cat's going to the bathroom by facial recognition. I'm like, what? We're not getting that one. Well, we're going to get a cheaper one, but that one's really cool. Maybe I should put that on my wish list with all my expensive things like my house and my car. It was really cool looking though. I was like, man, I don't even have facial recognition when I go to the bathroom, which I wouldn't want that. But, Yeah, I just have to show it to him. He already knew. He knew, like Rocky knew right away. He does not like water. My cat doesn't like water at all. I don't. She might be cool with it. I don't know. I'm gonna try to get her used to things as she's little. I'm gonna get her a little collar, little cat collar with her little name on it. Rocky would not allow me to do that because it had a bell on it, I think the first time, and he was just like, no. So he won't wear a collar. Yeah, I'm like, this thing's it. I was like, this thing is advanced. How are they going, I mean, it's cool looking. They do have cheaper ones though that I've seen. So I mean, but you don't have to change it for like 10 days. And I don't know how about the other ones, but I've been changing these litter boxes every day, every other day. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Smell a cat. I got 2 smelly cats now. She's just sleeping. She's just being so good. Well, thanks for hanging out with me. Oh yeah, the Mexican man. We should go through all of her stories because I think we did once on a live. Went through all of Letecia's stories that she went over. She had so many. I mean, she should write a book. Have a wonderful night, Casey. I understand that. Ugh. Happy Easter. It'll be, oh yeah, Easter's this weekend. It's Thursday. I don't know what I'm doing. My brother hasn't asked me to come over. If you're listening, Tony, call your sister. She likes to eat. Sometimes he's listening, so maybe he'll be listening tonight. Yeah. Well, with the cat though, it doesn't really, I mean, if you get one of those enclosed ones, they don't, even not the automatic ones, just enclosed, they don't really smell as much. Like you can let them go for, a couple days, a few days. Like I used to be able to change Rockies like every 3 or 4 days. But now it's like, no, I'm just changing them both and I'm cleaning them out. And I'm like, this is a lot of work. Like 1 cat compared to 2 is a big difference. I'll tell you. But I said that about dogs too. I just said that about dogs. I miss my dogs being in here though. I do. We were going to switch him or her. I want to say him. We were going to put the cat over in our bedroom today so that she can get her smell over there and then bring her back over. But then we didn't do that. So she's going to hang out with me for a little while longer. I'm going to do some work over here after I get off the live and then I'm going to head to bed. What was I going to tell you guys? Oh, we have a lot of cases coming up that's going to be going to court, going to trial. If you guys like watching trials, make sure you subscribe. We have, I don't know if there's going to be any in Ohio going to trial this year because a lot of those are just happened. And a lot of times, they will waive their speedy trial, which Caleb Flynn has not done that. I think Michael McKee did, but I don't think that Caleb Flynn did. So Caleb Flynn's supposed to start his trial at the end of April. It's not going to happen. I think I'll probably go to court next Monday. I think, yeah, it's on the 6th. Yeah, it would have been my dad's birthday. So I'm going to go down to the court. It'll probably be like a 2-second hearing, but they're going to probably just tell us that they need a continuance because they need to look at discovery and that they're waiving the speedy trial. That's my guess. But then we have Letecia Stauch. We have Ashley Buzzard. She should be going to trial soon. We have Rebecca Haro. She should be going to trial soon. Elijah Vu, Jesse Vang, and Katrina Barr. Hopefully they'll be going to trial soon. So there are some trials coming up. We'll be watching some. Especially because, I don't know if I'll be here, but might be in the other room. But I don't know. It'll be just, especially because, I don't know, it's just different. Just different, being able to stream trials now that I'm I don't know. I know what I'm doing a little bit more on here. So it'll be good. But yeah, happy Easter to everybody. I hope you guys have a wonderful Easter. If I don't see you this weekend, if you might be busy cooking and doing all those things to get ready for Easter. I don't know. But hopefully we'll see you guys. And if we don't, happy Easter to everybody. Hopefully the Easter bunny will come and bring you an Easter basket, or he'll come and bring you, some Easter diamonds or something. Or if you're a guy, whatever you want, an Easter car. But thank you guys so much for being here tonight. I do appreciate it. If you guys are new and you're just now coming in, my name is Tanya. This is Titanium Built True Crime. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. We do talk true crime here every night. And then sometimes during the day as well. I am going to switch 2 days. I think for I do want to try it out. I keep saying I'm going to, and then I never do. You know what I mean? I'll do it 2:35. I want to do them a little bit earlier. So I'm going to figure it out this weekend and get it to where my sleep's good and I can get a case in around 12:15, and we'll see how that goes. But thanks again for being here. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys all later. Have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful Easter. Like I said, if I don't see you, and I'll see you guys all later. And please hit the like button on the way out. Bye, guys.
Shameless, I see the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it. And I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory, yeah. Don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring, just want a life that is worth every day exploring,
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah,
This is a statement to appreciate all that is vacant. It's just for the taking. If you make up your mind, you can take it. I'm never complacent. I would work in a mansion or basement, yeah. There's no replacement for persistence. It's a patience, yeah. In this life, I wanna be soaring, to feel sun inside when it's pouring. And I'll fight till anxiety is boring. I'm so sick of my mind's extortion.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great.